Hey, folks, welcome back to Beyond the Steak, where we talk about the carnivore lifestyle beyond food. This episode isn't about macros or meal plans. Absolutely not. It's about real world health decisions, hormone balance, medicine, recovery, and how it all intersects when you live carnivore long term. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back with this episode and Rod Theisson. Perfect. All right. All right, folks, welcome to episode number 3 of Beyond the Steak. I'm here with Rod Theisson. How are you, Rod?
I'm doing good.
Excellent, excellent. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what do you do, and why carnivore?
Yeah, exactly. I live in Carmen, Manitoba, a little town about 45 minutes west of Winnipeg, Manitoba. Um, yeah, I work at Dodge Chrysler dealership. I'm parts and service over there here in Carmen. Um, yeah, and I worked in professional sports for quite a long time, about 20 years. I was within the CFL with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and Hamilton Tiger Cats. Did that for a long time, but kind of got out of it. I got out of it after I became unwell with rheumatoid arthritis and diabetes and everything. And yeah, and one of the places, the reason why, one of the places I guess I worked at um, had a gentleman who had rheumatoid arthritis. We had that in common, and he was much worse off than I was, using a cane walker, like, really not in good shape. And after about 6 months went by, and he came into the shop, and no cane, no walker, walking great. And he told me about carnivore, and that's what he was doing. Had improved everything in his life. And I didn't like, start it right away, obviously, because that was probably about 4 or 5 years ago. Um, but I guess about a year ago, my health got really bad, and that kind of stuck with me. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a shot, and I'm going to see what happens.
That's incredible, man. And I think that's the boost that, we all need. We meet that someone, we hear about that someone, we look
Yep.
up, that someone, and all of a sudden we've got the motivation to do it,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know. So diabetes, what's it doing right now? Like how long have you been on carnivore?
It'll be next month. Sorry, two in March. In March. It'll be a year.
Right.
So not quite a year so far, but yeah, like it has been life altering, life changing. Like wow, it is crazy. The benefits that I've had. My diabetes. Before I started this, like my A1C, the 3 month average there would usually be between about 10.2 and 10.8, which isn't horrible, but it's not good.
Right.
Um, so 3 months after carnivore, it was down to 8.5. Then another 3 months went by and it was down to 7.1. And another 3 months went by and it was down to 6.5. And the last one I did, it was down to, oh wow, 5.4.
Incredible.
Yeah, so it's
Incredible.
basically it's almost better than non-diabetic. Like,
Right.
and yet I'm a diabetic, and yet I'm that no matter when I check my blood sugar, like now it's anywhere between 5 and 5.5. Like it doesn't go higher than that.
That's excellent. That
Yeah.
is and now when you're eating, like do you sway off carnivore at all? Are you pure
Not really.
carnivore?
Like not really. Like I mean, I do the I've done the some dairy, like a high fat dairy, like cottage cheese and cheese and like use sour cream on some stuff. Um, but other than that, it's basically I did in the beginning. I would give myself a cheat day once every 2 weeks,
Right.
and I always found myself the next day having joint pain, just not feeling good. So after about like 3 months, like I stopped it altogether. Like, so I've been basically for the last, I'm guessing, like 9 or 8 months, I'm strict, like strict with it. I don't cheat. Like I don't, I don't do anything else, do anything different anymore. I just stick with what I'm doing.
It's just not worth it the next day, is it?
It's not. It blows me away. Like how like well, okay, at Christmas time, okay, at Christmas time at my brother and sister-in-law's, I decided to have they had all kinds of goodies and like, dessert stuff. And they had homemade turtles. And I thought, you know what is Christmas? I'm gonna have
Right.
like, three of them. And the next day, like three of those like homemade turtles, my fingers were swollen, like from the rheumatoid arthritis. My feet were swollen. Um, I just lethargic and didn't feel good. And it was kind of like, hey, you know what? That was a stupid thing to do, Rod. Don't do it again. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
I won't do it again.
well, and, sometimes I think I sit back and I ponder that is it really the right diagnosis that these doctors are making? Because how does it come back overnight if it's gone? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and I'm not just, in particular rheumatoid, like any type of inflammation or
yeah.
having, diabetic or any of that. Like a lot of people are saying, well, it went into remission, but did you actually have it or was it the food? You
That
know?
and that is what I'm thinking because like again, and now with the rheumatoid arthritis, um, it has been 10 months since I've had any significant joint pain, any kind of a flare up whatsoever. Like it's it's amazing. Like a year ago, I was 54 and I felt like I was 90. And
Right.
now a year later, I'm 55 and I feel like I'm 30. Like it's insane the difference it has made. Like I like no joint pain. Like I would have a year ago, 24 hours a day, joint pain. Like sometimes it was severe, sometimes it wasn't as severe, but it was there all the time.
Right.
And for 10 months, I haven't had any. Like it's kind of like like you said, like I kind of think to myself, like, could it be just the food I was eating? That was
Right.
causing all this these horrible symptoms. Like I don't know, but it's basically gone. Like, and
Yeah.
that's 10 months of nothing. It's awesome.
It's incredible. And, I mean, people have heard my story. People know that I had surgery last month. And to me, I think it was because I cheated, cheated at Christmas and had a diverticulite, not at Christmas, sorry, but in November, we had some family members here. And of course, Grandpa wanted to show off and ate stuff he shouldn't have ate. And I had a diverticulitis attack,
Oh yeah.
something I have not had on carnivore, and it was painful, and I literally think that's what caused the inflammation in my intestines, caused the appendix burst, the
Yep.
appendix attack, because of the inflammation. And holy cow, that just put everything on hold.
Yeah.
It was incredible, but I think they cut my mouth open. Like I had my little uvula thing there, was hanging by a thread. Like they cut it with the breathing
Oh
tube. Oh yeah, but I was 3 days and I was healed, and that was right back to strict carnivore. You
yeah.
know, come out of the anesthetic like a champ. Went on vacation to heal.
Yeah.
Where most people wouldn't have gotten an airplane, most people wouldn't have got on a cruise ship.
No. Yeah.
I'm not throwing away all that money. I mean, I could be carnivore on the ship and I can sleep on a bed on a ship, and yeah,
Yep.
I owe it to carnivore, honestly, do. Like
Definitely.
it's just incredible. Um, so what does your day look like meal wise?
I usually in the mornings I will have um I do. Oh yeah, like a Greek yogurt, like it's just a little bit of Greek yogurt for breakfast. Lunch is usually I make myself some hamburgers or some sausage or a steak or something like that, bring it with me to work. Um, and then supper is usually I always got hard boiled eggs in the fridge going and a big thing of bacon. So quite often I'll just have some bacon and a few hard boiled eggs, and I find that like with the way I'm eating, like I'm not eating nearly as much. Like and I feel full and I stay full way longer. So it's like, I can if I have on the weekend, I'll have bacon and eggs for lunch. And like not a word of lie, it'll be 8 o'clock in the evening, and I'm thinking, well, geez, I should probably eat something, but I'm full. Like, it's
Right.
like 8 hours later, and it's kind of like, well, I'm not hungry,
Yeah.
So it's yeah, it just it fills you up and it just keeps you full. Like,
Absolutely. Now, how often do you get your blood work done, or you just don't worry about it anymore?
no, I do. My family doctor is very skeptical still.
Yeah.
He's coming around a little bit. Ironically, tomorrow morning I got to get blood work done, and then next Wednesday I have an appointment to see him, and that's basically like he does more than just a diabetic, the A1C. He does like obviously other stuff,
Yeah.
and he every time so far, I guess there's been like three or four of them. Like I'll go into his office and he'll just look at me and he just starts shaking his head and he just kind of says, Rod, he says, like, your A1C is perfect. Like everything else we're testing is better than it's been in 15 years. And he's just keeps
Nice.
saying like that I can't say there's anything wrong with you because there isn't. And
Wow.
yeah, he's like I said, he's coming around. He's pretty
Yeah.
shocked about it, but he's gotten better since the beginning. In the beginning, he was very much like, you shouldn't do that, it'll kill you and all this kind of stuff. But now, the proof is in the pudding. Like when he goes over my blood work and says it's better than it's been in 15 years, like, keep
Yeah.
doing what you're doing is what he says now.
Absolutely. When I was in the hospital, the nurse said to me, "What's your diet?" I said, "I'm carnivore." You don't eat vegetables? No. You don't eat fruit? No. Well, that's your problem.
Yeah. Oh,
You need fiber. I said, "No, no, I don't. Fiber is the problem. Fiber is what gave me diverticulitis. It's stuck to my colon,
yep.
right? So it
Yeah.
they don't like being put in their place, but
No, yeah,
it,
exactly.
you don't mean disrespect, but science changes, it evolves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, in this case, science didn't change, right?
Yeah,
We've all
yeah,
been told we have to have our
yeah.
Cheerios and our Fruit Loops, and I. What are your thoughts on the food pyramid, the new U.S. model?
You know what? It's a lot better than it used to be. That's for sure. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
it's kind of headed in the right direction now, at least. Like, with like, pretty much like the meat was like basically on top, I think, right there. So, I mean, it's better than it was. Like,
yeah,
it
absolutely.
yeah, yeah, it definitely seems like they're coming around. Like, well, at least in the States, not in Canada, not so much. Like, but yeah, no, I'm happy to see like and because of like I now I firsthand know what it's done for me.
Yeah,
Like it's been like honestly it sounds dumb, but it's been a miracle. Like really it has been. Like it's
yeah,
crazy. And it just made me realize that I've been lied to my entire life by the system, by the scientists, by the government, by my doctors, everything, because I'm doing exactly the opposite now of what they told me my entire life, and
yeah,
I've never been healthier.
yeah.
It's kind of like wow, like
And that's why there's not a ton of research. That's why we're not seeing that science behind carnivore, because
yeah,
there's no money in the science of carnivore,
yep,
right? Other than these small marketing companies like Element and
mhm,
the electrolytes, that kind of stuff. There really is no money other than the beef farmers who are already making money. So,
yeah.
to me, that's why they're not researching it.
Well, no, and I mean, just for me, a year ago, I was taking, I believe it was about 44 pills a day. And
Wow.
prescription, like, and then there's was it injections in there too for the rheumatoid arthritis.
Yeah.
Today right now, and like I said, I see my doctor in a week. We'll probably reduce it. Um, but today I'm down to 10 a day. So I've eliminated 34 pills a day. And I
Dude.
and I still feel absolutely amazing. I feel better than ever. So it's like it's wow, like been huge difference like in that respect too. And I keep thinking to myself like, well, obviously they don't want people to know about it because then big pharma, like I mean, there's just little old me, but there's 34 pills a day that
Right.
I don't need anymore. I don't take them. And now if you would like, get a whole bunch more people that were kind of the same way, well, they're losing a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, your diabetes is down, your rheumatoid arthritis pretty much gone.
Gone.
Weight. What about weight?
Oh, I've lost 55 pounds now.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
oh yeah, that's that part I feel so much better too. Yeah, well, high blood pressure, that was another big one. Like I had high blood pressure and now it's completely normal. Like it's not anything to be concerned about whatsoever. So it's pretty much those my three biggest issues were those, and they're all gone. Like
Right.
they're gone. So
So when you go out, let's see, you and your wife go out. Sorry, I'm assuming wife.
no, I'm single. I
Okay.
just me and that's it.
Single like a Pringle. All right.
Yeah, you
So
betcha.
so when you're out at the restaurant, the server comes up and you order your steak and your butter and nothing else on the plate. Do they question you? Do you
They look at me really strange. Like
right?
they look at me and I'll say like, if I'm with a friend of mine or whatever, like I'll say, well, you can just give them the vegetables and baked potato and whatever else. Just give me the steak and that's it. And they just kind of look at me really, yeah, like really strange. No one's ever questioned it, but that's exactly what I do. It's kind of like I don't want anything. I just want the meat. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. We've it's probably about six or seven in our carnivore compass group now who were servers that my wife and I, when we're out, like they question, they look, and we say we're carnivore, or we're both wearing, our shirts, and
Yeah.
they start asking the questions. That's the one thing we're not like your typical vegan or oh, what's that way of working out called? Anyway, we don't preach, right? Like
Yeah, exactly.
somebody wants to ask about it, we will tell them 100%. But other than that, we just go on about what we're doing.
Yeah, that's yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
It's like to me, I've often said to people like um like I don't understand with what it's done for me and what it's done for so many people that I know of that are doing it. Like I don't know why everybody in the world, like it sounds dumb, but isn't doing this because like
yeah.
it's crazy what the difference it makes in your life.
Yep. I've had, I mean, I'm a real estate agent, right?
Mhm.
So
Yep.
it's like people think we're just um, hyper focused and what do you know? You're just a realtor. Like I get it all the time, especially, and that's why I've slowed down posting anything about carnivore on my regular Jason Steele page because
Mhm. Yep.
people come at me like you have to eat more than one or you this you that and you're just a realtor, stay in your lane. I'm like, guys, I've had over a year of nutrition training, more than any 10 times more than any doctor, and I've been following this for 2 years. I've been reading nonstop. I think I know a little bit about it,
Yep.
and if you're that smart, why the hell are you eating sugar?
Yeah, exactly.
It's that simple. It is that simple. So yeah, they'll call you out and because it's not normal, right? To
That's right.
them.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly that. They think like when people, the biggest one for me is like if I'm telling them about what I eat in a day or whatever else, and then they'll just look at me and the first thing they're kind of like, so you don't eat fruits and vegetables? And
Yeah.
I tell them I haven't touched one in 11 months.
Yeah.
Like it's I haven't touched one and I'm doing better than I ever have. So I realized I didn't need them,
Right.
because I don't eat them. and I'm doing great. So it's like, but that's the biggest one is fruits and vegetables. They're all right away. They're freaking out like that. Like you're gonna die.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
whatever
Oh,
kind of thing.
exactly.
Like,
Well, and that's what it scared my wife in the first 2 months we started. We got our blood work done too early. And I always tell people, wait 6 months.
yeah.
Do not get your blood work done before that. And we didn't. I didn't know we were rookies in it. And everything came back, livers up, kidneys up, this is up. And the secretary, not the doctor, the secretary told my wife, "You're gonna die. You keep this
Oh,
up, you're gonna die." So she went keto. She didn't start the carbs and all that crap, but she started keto. And then I did my blood work 4 months later in August, and everything, and I mean everything, like basically was perfect.
yeah.
And she saw that. She's like, "I'm coming back."
Yeah.
So she's pure carnivore again, and enjoying it.
Yeah.
Just enjoying it. Um, Trying to think what else to ask you here. I mean, we pretty much covered it all.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, one thing I'll add to it too is like the part that I wasn't expecting and didn't know about, but the mental clarity that I have now. Like I wasn't like dementia, Alzheimer's, a year ago, but I mean, going from that to now, like the mental clarity I have now, it's insane. Like it's my head and my brain like feel so light.
yeah,
Like, and it's hard to explain, but it's like everything works better,
right,
with work, with whatever I'm doing. That's one thing. After I've noticed it, then I like people said that happens. So I was
yeah.
kind of like, wow. But that was one thing that I wasn't expecting that happened, that I'm so happy it did happen, because like yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, multitasking now seems to
Oh,
be, so it's like I gotta slow myself down here for a few minutes.
yeah, like it's things at work, like a couple of years ago, would stress me out like you wouldn't believe, and I would be panicking right away if I had more than three things to do. And now where I work, like it's I don't ever panic. Like I can have 10 things on the go, and it's kind of like, okay, here we go, let's do it. And there's no
Yeah,
panic, there's no nothing. It's just that your brain and your head are clear. Like
yeah.
it's great.
Well, and that's the difference between regular gas, right, which
Yeah,
is sugar and carbs,
yeah,
or premium, which
that,
is
that
ketones, period, fat,
yep,
right? So
definitely.
it's incredible, and I'm hoping that all these different groups throughout, especially Dr. Barry, Dr. Baker,
Yeah,
Anthony Jaffe, that all these things just get more people aware, you
yeah.
know, aware. And that's again why I started the group. Like some of these other groups, like World Carnivore Tribe, like there's some nasty people out there,
There
you
is,
know.
there is. I've
Yeah,
joined a couple other ones, and I've had to leave because it was just like it was so. I don't even like it was so like there's so many not positive people in there, and
yeah,
so many whatever it is. And one thing I found about your group so far, it's awesome. Like everybody is supportive. There is no like nothing bad being said. Like everybody supports each other. And
yeah,
it's awesome. Like it's
yeah.
a great
And
group to be
that's
in.
I toyed with making it public. I think I'm going to leave it private for now because there's 600 people in here that are comfortable to be
Yeah,
in here.
yeah.
Right. And the minute, we let somebody in that's going to be a dirt bag, it's just going to ruin it for everyone. So,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, we don't need 50,000 people where 45,000 are bought.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, Rod.
Hey, my
You
pleasure.
taking the time. It's great to hear these stories. I mean, they're all so relatable. They really come down to inflammation, diabetes, and brain fog for
Yep,
sure.
definitely.
It's only my third interview, but just watching the different groups, watching the people in our group talk, it's all coming down to those three main things.
Yep.
To me, weight is just a side effect, a
It,
positive
it,
side effect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I had no one, like, I didn't go do this diet or a lifestyle, I should say, to lose weight. Like it was,
Yeah.
I wasn't like obese or overlay, but I could have obviously used, lost a few pounds, but that was a bonus. Like it was kind of like, all of a sudden I kind of noticed I don't have a scale at home, and all of a sudden I noticed my clothes don't really fit anymore. Like they're
Yeah.
like I've got to go buy a new belt because I can't go any tighter, and then all of a sudden it was kind of like I went to one of my doctor's appointments with a rheumatologist, and they weighed me, and it was after about 6 months, and I remember she just kind of says, "Whoa." I said, "What's that?" She says, "You've lost like 42 pounds so far." I'm like, "No way." I said, "That's awesome."
Yeah.
And then I kind of leveled off, but now I've done it, but at 55 now, so I've lost another 13 pounds in there somewhere, but feel great.
That's nice. That's awesome. The one thing I did want to touch on when we were talking about the diabetes is the A1C, and just for people who are on carnivore, people who are thinking, sometimes your A1C stays right around the high mark, just above normal when you're carnivore. Mine right now is 6.1, so 6 is the high mark.
Yeah.
Well, it's just out of normal.
Yeah.
Um, the thing is your red blood cells, because there's not oxidative stress, there's not this insulin issue. They last longer, right? The
Yeah.
turnover is not as quick for your red blood cells, so your A1C is looking like it's holding on, right?
Hmm.
Because that's your I think it's your 60 and 90-day glucose level is
Yeah.
tested with the A1C. So yeah, your red blood cells are healthy. They're not dying off. They're not having to replicate. So that's why sometimes A1C looks. I see people again in the groups. Oh my God, my A1C is high at 6.3. What do I do? Well, you do nothing. You continue with your fat metabolism, and you'll be
Yeah.
fine. You know.
Yeah.
All right, pal. Well, I appreciate it. For
Hey, you bet.
anybody watching, give this video a thumbs up. Rod is awesome. He's been in our group for quite some time. Like and subscribe if you've got a minute, and you'll be able to watch these videos as they come along. Rod, again, I appreciate it. I'm going to send you a quick message here in a few minutes, and really appreciate you being out.
Hey, sounds good. I appreciate it as well.
Thanks. Thanks.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Have a great night.
Yeah, you too.
All right, bye.